I've been doing creative work for over 10 years now. Here are 7 lessons I wish I knew sooner. Number 1 is just trust your ability to create. I want this to be number 1 because honestly, if I was going back and really instilling a skill set in me as a younger creative, it'd be to trust myself more. Chances are, if you're watching this, then you probably have gained enough skill sets over the last few months, over the last few years, whatever the case may be. You have been experimenting, you have been learning, you have been really passionate about your craft. Do not underplay your abilities. You have to trust in all the hours that you put into this craft. Like, trust and believe in yourself that you have become better and you have at least an idea of what you're doing. And like I mentioned, I struggled with this for years and I still struggle with this today, just a lot less. And I've been in countless situations where I'm like, yo, am I good enough? Like, trust me, like, I've been there so many times. I still have to deal with that today. But just trust your ability to create, man. You've been doing the work. You've been doing the grind, like the long nights. You've been doing all that, bro. You have it in you. And of course, there's gonna be a lot of people that are better than you. But that doesn't mean that you don't have your specific strengths. Which leads me to lesson number 2, which is lean into your strengths. Creative is interesting because, like, a lot of the way that we think is all based on our experiences in life. So like the things that you were into as a child, the things that you're into today, like they all shape your creative vision. Like maybe you grew up loving movies and like that cinematic look and the lighting and all those specific shots come really natural to you. When someone like me, I watched very little movies growing up that whenever someone asks me like, hey, have you watched this movie? Chances are I haven't. So I don't have the eye for specific shots that someone who grew up watching movies will tend to have. Just think to yourself, like, what part of the creative process do I naturally tend to gravitate towards? Like, some people absolutely love coloring, and making videos is just like a byproduct of coloring in a sense. Thing is that truthfully, just lean into that aspect of things and you're probably going to stand out way more than if you're trying to perfect every single area just for the sake of trying to match somebody else's strength. You can literally get hired as a colorist, you know what I mean? Like, you can literally get hired for a movie where all you're doing is coloring, and the fact that you've spent all your time leaning into your strength of coloring, it opens doors that like wouldn't have been open if you're trying to get better at every single thing around the creative process instead of focusing on one. And like I said, that doesn't mean just neglect every other aspect, but lean into your strengths. It's gonna work out for you. So lesson number 3 is just discipline, man. Like, I know the word discipline is not like the most appealing word that creatives want to hear, but it is so important to create all the time and be consistent, because it's really easy to create and make art and do these things when we feel like it and when we're inspired. But if you want to take it to the next level, like you want to make being a creative your full-time job, like we can't just rely on pure excitement. Like, we have to treat it like a job as well. Like, although we love it, like you can love your job, you know, but you still have to show up every day even when you don't feel like it. You just need to be able to fight through the I just don't feel like creating right now stages. And when you push through that not wanting to create, like you always just feel so good that you push through it. Like, I don't know what the feeling is, but like it's usually like 15 minutes of like, oh my god, this sucks, like this is not coming to me, like no idea is coming to me, nothing's flowing. It normally takes like 15 to 20 minutes. If you can stick it out for 15 to 20 minutes, chances are that you're just gonna go into a natural flow state. And once you're in that flow state, you're gonna be so proud of yourself for like following through and like pushing through those like moments. So do yourself a favor and don't use the excuse that a lot of creatives like to say, like, I just have writer's block right now, I have creative block, I'm not creative right now, I don't have no motivation, I gotta go do something else. Like, don't get me wrong, that does happen from time to time, but I think a lot of the time we use that as an excuse. So just push through it. Lesson number 4, it's probably gonna take longer than you think to make this like a full-time thing. Like, I remember when I first started, when I just got out of high school, I was 18 years old, and I was like, yeah bro, in 2 years I'm gonna be famous as hell, I'm gonna be doing this creative stuff like full-time, and it's gonna be great. And that happens to people, you know, like that definitely happens as a thing. But for most people like me, I didn't get into a full-time creative role. Like, it took me 7 years to finally like actually do this full time. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're in your creative journey. Like this might take a lot longer than you think. So it's okay to get a normal job. It's okay to do it like before work and after work, and it's just like the sacrifice that you're going to have to take in order to really take it to the level that you want to take it. And then a pro tip is, if you get a job like that does kind of amplify your skill sets as a creative, that is like the best thing that you can do. Like the job that I got 3 years ago, like it wasn't exactly my passion, but it did put me in the trajectory of even where I am now, because it allowed me to daily for 8 hours a day, flex my creative muscles and learn the other aspects of the creative process that maybe I was lacking, like the discipline part. Before that role, most of my things were like just passion projects or just one-off freelance stuff. So I never really flexed the muscle of discipline as a creative. And that's really when I started flexing those muscles. So if I can go back, I would truthfully not like do what I did, which is like go and be a cook at a restaurant for like 7 years. Nothing wrong with it, but like I would have just tried a little bit harder to like always be applying on Indeed and messaging people on Instagram and doing free work until you can get hired somewhere as a creative, even if it's like a lower entry job, like it's cool to like kind of work in that field and get your skill sets up. So again, just remember, it might take a lot longer than you think. Maybe you'll get lucky and you might just get the craziest role and you might blow up on TikTok and in the first 6 months, and congrats to you. But for people like me, it takes us a little longer to kind of get the things rolling. So just be okay with that and understand that, like me, I'm 28 years old and I feel like I'm just getting started. I'm 10 years in the game, and yeah, it definitely took a little longer than I expected, but I just wouldn't change my process for the world. And lesson number 5 is kind of similar in the like patience boat, but you have to keep on experimenting until you find your style. And even then, like it's a never-ending process. Like you're always going to be adapting your style, but you have to do a bunch of trial and error until you figure out like, hey, I really like doing this specific look. And that's the fun part, man. Like figuring that stuff out, and the fact that it's a never-ending process is so fun. Like embrace the season that you're in. Like even the beginner stage can be fun if you make it fun. But if you're kind of like beating yourself up and being like, man, I suck. I'm looking at these stuff on Instagram. They're so ahead of me, and you're like dreading that, like it's going to be a rough time. But if you're leaning into the fact that you are a beginner and you're kind of having so much fun because you're learning all these things. Like I think about it like me when I was like skateboarding and I was like maybe in year 1. And at that point, like you're kind of learning new tricks like every week, it's kind of cool. But once you like are like 7 years in the game, and like, it's hard to learn that fast, so just embrace the season that you're in. If I would give any suggestion of people in this stage, like I would just practice fundamentals, man. If you're like in the beginner stages, like practice your fundamentals. Like it's gonna help you so much. I feel like when I was coming up in the game, like I skipped so much things just for the sake of like being impatient. Like I shot auto on my camera for a long time because it just wasn't something that interested me. I had more fun with like the actual idea that we were filming, and I just like I could care less about like actually setting up the camera correctly. But like it honestly like came back and bit me in the ass later on. So I would suggest you really lean into the fundamentals. Number 6 is like stop comparing yourself to like everyone out there, like especially nowadays with like Instagram and all these things where you're seeing people's best work presented in a way where you think that they're like a god. Like there's definitely like looking at other people's work and being inspired and being like I want to improve. But if you're going the other way around and kind of thinking like, wow, these people are way better than me, I suck, I should not create, that is where like it's a very terrible place to be. Like you never ever want to be in a place where you compare your work and you literally don't ever want to create anymore because you think that these people are so far ahead of you. And especially like looking at your own work and kind of shitting on it and being like, yeah, my thing sucks, like why doesn't it look like theirs? And that's the beauty about it too. Like your work doesn't have to look like theirs. Like a lot of the times we look at other people and look at their strengths, and then look at ourselves and then think to ourselves that, oh, well, I can't do that specific thing that they can do, so that means I'm not good. Like, that is something that I would do a lot, honestly. But that thing's just not like a healthy place to be, bro. Like I said, like, we have our strengths, they have our strengths, and our stuff shouldn't look like theirs anyway. So if you're comparing your work and it doesn't look like the people that you're inspired by, don't take that as a bad thing. Like, you can be inspired by them, but don't try and like mimic them, and don't feel like your work is not good enough if it doesn't look like theirs. And the last lesson that I have for you guys for this specific video is your favorite artists are just humans as well. Like, don't put them on a pedestal. Like, a lot of the times we're looking at these like Pharrells and these like huge artists, and we're looking at them like they're like gods, you know, and like that's just not the way that we should look at humans in general. But especially with creatives, like, they also struggle with the same things as you. Like, they struggle with like maybe not being motivated some days. They struggle with like comparing themselves. Like, you'll be surprised, man. Like, these people are just humans, so they obviously struggle with a lot of the same things that you are struggling with today. So don't feel like it's only you and like you're isolated and you're the only person that feels these feelings. Most of the time, the people that you're looking up to, they're probably having the same things, the same doubts that you are having. Like, they also run into the issue of trying to find balance between their art and like friends. Or a lot of these people like that you look up to, maybe they even have regular jobs. Like me, like, I still do a regular job as well to pay the bills, but at least I have time to do creative work, and that's inspiring. We're all in the same mix, man. We're all trying to balance things. We're all dealing with a lot of the similar issues. And always remember that the people that you look up to were just beginners as well. I know that's cliche, but it's just something to think about, man. Like, don't think that they're just gods. Like, they were at your stage too. So just be patient. And yeah, that'll wrap it up for today's video. Of course, like, these are just 7 lessons in the last 10 years, but I have a lot of things that I can kind of jump into. So if there's anything you're kind of struggling with, I would love to hear it in the comments, and maybe I'll hint on that lesson, or any ideas that you guys want me to touch on. Like, I'm definitely trying this YouTube thing out again, and we will see where this goes. Appreciate you guys' time. I'm out of here.